Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. I appreciate you for even clicking this video. Let us jump right into the topic at hand. So today, I began to see a few comments that have been cropping up, some of them on my channel, some of them on other channels, which have been asking what the role of Batman will be in this so-called rumored Arkham Legacy game. Now, one of the things I feel like is driving or, triggering this question is the fact that a lot of people have heard that there will be other playable characters. And the truth is, in the other Batman games, there have been other playable characters. If you look at Batman games from, Arkham City all the way through Arkham Knight. Now, in the capacity in which they play, you would have to say Arkham City does a very good job and Arkham Knight does a good job in terms of other characters that you can play. But largely, these characters are usually either accompanied characters or characters that you find in challenge missions. I think you get more hands-on with a separate character in Arkham City, where Catwoman actually comes into play a lot in, the regular game mode. But then, Arkham Knight also has that where, Catwoman also gets to play some, Riddler stuff, and you get to play like, missions with everybody, but it's on the DLC end. But a lot of people are considering that this might become front and center, and so they're wondering, what is Batman's role going to be if we have something like this? And the answer is quite simple. If we go back and look at the tweets and the leaks and the speculation, because this game will have the Court of Owls in it, a lot of people have associated Scott Snyder, who is the writer of the 52 comics, and said that he will be working on this project with Warner Brothers Montreal. So my best guess is that when you have Scott Snyder, who's somebody who is in charge, in a sense, of the graphic series of this whole storyline, you're most likely going to have his vision being implemented in one way or the other. And that vision has Batman as a central character. And this means that we will be most likely seeing Batman as a central character in this so-called Arkham or Batman Arkham Legacy game that is, set to be announced soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed, rumors are true and all of that. And that is where I think the best answer needs to come from, because, just because we're going to have other playable characters and just because of the way the storyline is, doesn't mean that other characters cannot still come in and share some of the fun, and doesn't mean that Batman is going to be kicked out of the other, kicked out of the entire storyline. So I think that's one way that we have to think about it. We have to think about it from the aspect of saying, okay, what do the 52 comics tell us? And if you look at the 52 comics, you're going to see even Bruce Wayne in different capacities handling business. And then you're going to see Batman handling business in all kinds of other, capacities. And so I feel like it's time. And even if Batman doesn't really play a huge portion of the story, I don't feel like that does anything against the integrity of the story. In fact, I'm more likely to be inclined to think that it is time for the other Arkham family members, for them to actually start to showcase themselves in missions. In one of my older videos, I'd spoken about, possible scenarios that could happen with this whole 52 storyline, because the storyline does have a place where Batman finds himself in some labyrinth where he's trapped and he's getting tortured by this so-called Court of Owls people. And, the Bat family goes out looking for him. And I think this is where the opportunity is for the Bat family to actually come in and play all kinds of fun roles. In fact, I even speculated that it would be really cool to see somebody like Alfred. Alfred, Mr. Butler guy with his umbrella, walking the streets, looking for clues, talking to people, and even engaging in some combat, depending on where they actually place this game. They place this game earlier, in the storyline, then Alfred, will still be able-bodied and agile and be able to fight, fight his way out. Because Alfred's not like, he's not a chump. He's actually a really tough guy. I mean, as much as people may want to downplay him, he has been a central role in a lot of the Batman games. I mean, really central, to the point where even in Arkham Origins, Alfred is a very, very solid character for you as you start to transition to, gaining and winning Oracle, Barbara Gordon, to Batman's side. So for these questions, I think that everybody can really calm down and just, understand that Batman, even though he's, he may or may not play a huge role, doesn't mean he's still not going to play a central role. It's still his game. It's Batman Arkham Legacy, I think. I mean, if that's what they're gonna name it. But if they name the game Arkham Legacy, then that means that Batman is, trying to, improve or trying to strengthen the family by them proving their loyalty, proving their worth in trying to make sure and help Batman to fulfill his tasks. Now, again, another aspect of this 52 comic series does actually showcase where Batman finds out that these Court of Owls have set up like these multi, takeout strategy where they actually want to simultaneously take out a whole bunch of people. In fact, a whole list of bad guys at the same time. So Batman is not able to just stop one crime systematically happening, by itself or isolate or happening in isolation, but instead, they're systematically trying to pull off multiple, hits. And then what he does is he calls on the entire Bat family, Damian Wayne, Red Hood, and everybody to, deploy to all these different places to stop as much of this activity as they possibly could. And so the storyline fits where other people are going to be coming in and doing, detective work and doing crime fighting work, as with Batman. And I think this is very good because a lot of people have argued that Batman is somewhat invulnerable. Like, he's this overly super powerful dude that's a millionaire, and so he's not really relatable. But I've always argued against it, that he is actually a very relatable person. And I think his relatability is in his so-called family structure. The family structure that comprises of Robin, the family structure that comprises of, his very troubled sons. I think the only two that are stable are, with Tim Drake and, Dick Grayson. And then the others are just, a mess. Damian and Jason Todd are a mess, but still, that shows that he's not perfect, shows that he can make mistakes. From of the 4 sons that he's raised, that everybody knows, only 2 came out to be, solid people. And that's because in the aspect of their lives that they came in to meet him, he was able to harness their potential a lot. And then, you're going to also see in this 52 comics, if we're following the storyline, there was a little bit of a brush between Batman and Nightwing because, the Talons somewhat had their hands in trying to, maybe recruit him when he didn't even know. So if you really want to get yourself up to speed, though, I have to recommend and I have to encourage you to take some time and go read these 52 comics, because I feel like they're going to provide for you just a lot more context and provide for you a lot more idea in terms of a lot more of an idea, in terms of how the storyline is going to progress. I think this will answer a lot of your questions, because if you see how the storyline progresses, there are multiple layers and multiple villains and, a robust story that will see Batman in a lot of action. So I don't think Batman is going to be relegated to the side. Instead, I think we're going to see a lot of the aspects of him, which, Batman loves to run solo. And for him to be calling on help in these comics is a very different aspect to Batman. But he sees his vulnerability. He's behind on, keeping track of the enemy that's actually coming for him. And at his wit's end, he calls in for help. And this Bat family, they come in, they show who they are, they take out bad guys, and they do things that, only the Bat family is capable of doing in this universe. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Thank you very much for listening to the video. I appreciate your time and audience. If you've not subscribed, please do so. This is the Video Game Fight School channel, where we talk about Batman theory, Batman games, and all of that good stuff. All right, that's it for me. I guess I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.